So you, in your book, you highlight that scholars today have a plethora of historical Jesuses. Can you kind of help us understand what you think the main reasons are for this fragmentation? And is there any hope for a unified picture? Is that what we're trying to get to?
So, uh, the answer to the last question, in my judgment, is no. Okay, but I'd like to clarify why I think this is no. So, first of all, I don't think Jesus is unusual in this. That is, I think almost all major figures, really important people, generate multiple responses. So you can take anybody who's famous now. So let's take our current president, all right? So I have read no books on Donald Trump, but there must be lots of them out there. So I'm sure some books paint Donald Trump as crazy and terrible and evil. I'm sure there are books that cheer him and say he's a great man and the best president we've ever had. I'm sure there's a book or two that just analyzes policy, kind of independent of all the cheering and booing. There might well be a book, a book of his psychology, trying to figure out why he is the way he is. Anyway, the point would be, just think of any major historical figure, and you have conflicting and multiple responses. And in Jesus's case, this is also true during his ministry. The Gospels don't say he showed up and everybody said, "Oh, we agree on who he is." The people who knew him and heard him, uh, some of them hated him, some of them loved him. I'm sure some were confused, didn't know what to make of him. Some were indifferent, right? Just went about their business. I'm not going to listen to this guy. So I think already in his own lifetime, he is giving rise to multiple perceptions and different ideas. And I think this is just the case with, it's the case with Winston Churchill or Abraham Lincoln or Alexander the Great. So that doesn't bother me. I just think it's part of being famous, right? That you're gonna generate differences. I would also say that we're going to have differences because the Gospels, going back to Strauss, don't agree on everything. So I think myself that Matthew gives us a Torah observant Jesus, and I don't think Mark does. So the historian has a problem. Which gospel is closer to Jesus here? Same thing with John, disagreeing with the synoptics. Does the ministry last 1 year? Does it last 3 or more years? If there was an episode in the temple, where did it come in the ministry? So the sources themselves disagree. So that's going to issue in different evaluations and so on. So I just think that we're stuck with this, okay? But it doesn't trouble me deeply because I don't think it's that different than what we find with other individuals.
That's helpful. That's really helpful. I guess you can kind of view it as you have this figure kind of shrouded in shadow, and the Gospels are kind of presenting different lights, reflecting on the figure, so different parts of them are being illuminated depending on the angle that they're coming at him from.
Yes, but also in the modern world, so all four evangelists, they like Jesus, all right? They're cheering for him. In the modern world, things are a bit different. So we have some historians of Jesus who are secular. We have some who are religious. We have some who are Jewish, and they're going to see some things that Gentiles don't see. So, my own view is to try to be optimistic about this. So if I were going to try to be fair to Donald Trump, let's say, I'd probably try to read all the books, right? I'd try to read them all and see, what I could make of them. I think that secular historians sometimes see things that religious people don't, and vice versa. So again, I think we can learn something from almost everybody, right? But I'm not looking for a consensus. I guess I should also add that in the modern world, I don't know that there's a consensus about anything. So again, I'm not sure Jesus is so strange here. I I live in Princeton. We have multiplicity of political points of view and philosophical points of view and different ideas about the meaning of science. Anything important, people disagree and have different points of view. So I just think that's the way it is.
If you enjoyed this clip, head on over to Locals to watch the full conversation right now. Supporters can access the video version, and everyone can freely listen to the audio-only version of the conversation. If you're on YouTube or Rumble, please like, subscribe, and then hit the bell notification icon so you never miss a new episode. I'll catch you next time. Cheers.